where do I start? Where do I get my rhythm? Where do I get my groove?
I always start off with a bounce. You just start with a bounce, and then you see.
I'm part of the baddest game, most successful game in the world. I went to Portugal this year, and the young tour guide goes, "It's Doris Burke from 2K." It wasn't Doris Burke, the announcer. It was Doris Burke from 2K.
Oh! 2K Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the NBA. Hi everyone, thanks for joining us for the NBA Rising Stars Challenge. Get ready for some thrilling end-to-end action as the best first and second-year players in the NBA do battle on the hardwood. Alongside Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan.
Yeah, and Kevin, you talked about some thrills being in store for us tonight. These young guys are all capable of making a spectacular play at any given time, and I got a feeling we'll see plenty of them here tonight.
Absolutely.
Well, without question. I mean, if this game has taught us anything over the last few years, over the years in general, it's there isn't a highlight reel big enough to capture all of the incredible high-flying action.
And now the opening lineup for Team World. We've got Gilgeous-Alexander. Barrett is out there with Hachimura. Then there's Luka Doncic. And it's Fernando in at the center.
And for me, this is always one of the best weeks of the year. So much fun for everyone involved. Fans, players, coaches. What a blast.
Yeah, the NBA knows how to throw a party in celebrating its game. There's no doubt about that. And All-Star Week is one great show after another.
And it's just something about the Rising Stars Challenge. It gives each of these young players a chance to really do something special on a national stage, maybe for the first time in their professional career.
James, terrific assist, a nice finish, solid play all around.
It's sort of a revelation this season. He's quickly established himself as one of the league's top young players.
And that's always impressive to see because there were a lot of people who had their doubts about him. But he seems to thrive on proving those people wrong, and he's off to a good start.
And stolen by Williamson. James outside, the pass to Porter. Now here's Sexton. Down low. James dishes to Porter. Offensive rebound. And another shot. And James with a nice bucket inside. James has got his second basket of the night.
And once he got to the 10, I think he was surprised to find himself that wide open.
Well, this early, they should be showing a lot more energy on defense. It's not there.
Now, here's Gilgeous-Alexander. Fernando can't get it to go. You brought the big stage these young guys are on tonight. For so many of the fans, Greg, who are still, just getting familiar with these players, it really is a great welcome to the NBA moment.
It really is a showcase. And for each player, whether they have great moments or not, just being chosen to participate is a huge honor. And it says a lot about where they stand amongst their peers.
Here's the teardrop. Hachimura, no good.
Boy, patrolling the paint well, protecting the rim, that's exactly the kind of defensive effort you need against him.
And so it's Doncic with it. He brings it up for Team World. It's a 5-point game.
And guys, since this game started back in '94, this has been a perfect warm-up for the All-Star game. I mean, it has all the fun and excitement of the big game with the added element of introducing some of the great young stars to the league's fans.
Here is Porter after Luka Doncic's bucket, and that one goes out of bounds. Nice touch by Porter.
And that's just carelessness there. I mean, you have got to have your head in the game.
Team World trails by 3. This really has become one of the signature events of All-Star Week. I know you love it, Greg. It gets everyone into the mood for all the festivities that are soon to come.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's such a great way for these young players to show off some of the fancy moves that they wouldn't even dare to attempt in a regular season game. Textbook, nice pass, great catch, even better finish.
And Gilgeous-Alexander's got the ball here for Team World. Pass to Hachimura. And contact on the shot, so he'll be shooting free throws here.
And You can see what makes Hachimura a tough cover. He can beat you with finesse, and also he can bring the hard hat.
Both good from the line that time.
Free throw shooting is about mechanics, confidence, and your mental approach. He's locked in from there most every night.
Good on the bucket. 8 points for James.
Well, let's say the defense being played here tonight might be a bit on the soft side from both teams.
Well, I know you're not surprised, are you? I mean, fast and loose is the way this game should be played.
Now, here's Doncic. And there's the block. Just stops it cold and takes possession. James, the pass to Morant. Oh, and there's the alley-oop. And it's Williamson missing.
And that was lining up to be a huge alley-oop, but they just couldn't quite connect.
And, you know, guys, always a tough catch on the lob. Placement and timing have to be close to perfect.
It's tipped.
Well, you see the insane vertical, the long arms. Morant impacts every aspect of the game.
And he gets the bucket. And look at how the hustle game has been going for USA.
You know, they've done a great job of getting a hand up on shooters. Actually have gotten a lot of blocks as well, solidifying that defensive effort.
And the other thing that's been equally as effective is the fact that they've gotten out on the fast break. A lot of points coming in transition.
And a guy everyone seems excited to see, Ja Morant. I've heard more than one person call him an old soul.
Well, you know, he acts like he's been here before. The complete game, the confidence, always in control. His teammates lean on him because he makes the team better.
Now, here's Barrett. After the miss from James, Barrett kicks to Doncic. Solid as a rock from 20 feet away. Doncic has got 6.
And there's no question he was going to be playing in this game, because as far as a first or second year player goes, he's about as impactful as any in the league.
That's exactly right. I mean, he's quickly become one of his team's most important players.
And you know, the officials not giving their whistles much of a workout here tonight. Very few fouls being called.
And most of that, Greg, is because they're not playing full-force defense. I mean, you're never going to see as much contact around the bucket in this game as you would ordinarily.
And rarely do you see a player like Doncic come in so polished, guys, at this age.
I mean, Doncic already looks like a 10-year vet. Very precise with every movement and decision he makes on the wing. Just a great knack for passing, plus that vision.
Jay out there with Wendell Carter. Then there's Colin Sexton. And it's Young, and it's Graham in at the 2-guard spot. And for Team World, we've got Medu, Gilgeous-Alexander out there with Doncic. Then it's Barrett, and it's Hachimura in at the 4 spot.
And there's the patience you want to see from Sexton. Eyes up and finds the open man.
Pass to Barrett. Here's Hachimura. Defended by Sexton. And it's sent back by Carter.
A slight rebound advantage for them. One more column in their favor, and it's all adding up.
Well, you take a look at all of the stats, the team stats, that is, and that's one of the many areas that they've had the advantage. And as a result, they've got a big lead.
Pass to Doncic. Here's Gilgeous-Alexander. Team World with another miss.
I'm shocked that didn't turn into 3 points. I mean, he makes you pay on those nearly every time.
Here's Medu. He's been quiet so far. Still no points in the game. Doncic passes to Hachimura. Five to shoot. To the inside. Here's Medu. And the rejection by James. He kicks to Young. James outside. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Luka Doncic. That's his first foul. Clark, take us inside the halftime locker room in the NBA.
Well, players typically just regroup individually. There may be some conversation between the players as a group, but then the coaches will huddle, evaluate what transpired in the first half, what adjustments need to be made, and then they'll communicate that to the team. And it's basically a time to rest and regroup for the players to adjust and strategize for the coaches.
Mark, do you think there's any videotape review in there, maybe showing players certain sets, certain schemes?
In this day and age, for sure, with the use of iPads and technology, if you go back to my time, there was no quick turnaround of video in the halftime locker room.
Right. I do know officials do that, too, in their locker room at halftime. And USA making a change here. Williamson's checked in. Some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, right now you just need a bucket to get some momentum.
Count it.
And you see the passing instincts Barrett has. Great at recognition out on the floor.
James kicks to Green. Back to James. And the dunk by James.
And the definition of teamwork right there on that alley-oop.
And Greg, what about the finish? Bringing it down with some thunder. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I think the pass was even better. I mean, that was room service delivery at its finest.
Gilgeous-Alexander can't get it to go. USA leading by 17. Can't get it to fall.
That's not the type of opportunity he fails to convert very often.
To the middle, here's Fernando. And the rejection by James. Morant kicks to James. And the call on the shot that sends him to the line.
I mean, even from over here, you could see that one pretty clearly.
No question about it, Greg. I mean, a ton of contact and a good call by the official.
Yeah, nice job of drawing the contact and creating opportunities at the line.
My kind of hoop. Straight ahead, playing downhill and physical.
And what confidence from the big fella. Williamson runs the floor like a deer, and that assertiveness to attack. Love it.
Here's Fernando. And he says, right back at you with a big dunk of his own.
Well, I'll tell you what, his vertical is awesome, off the charts. A short center who still makes his presence felt.
And James throws it down.
You see the quarter awareness Morant has. Outstanding at keeping his teammates involved with good looks.
And stolen by James. Deft touch on the alley-oop.
Oh, Kevin, get a load of that one. Take that play and put it in the alley-oop textbook, boys.
Perfectly done. You're right. He put it on a platter for him.
And a nice touch on the finish.
The edge on the glass is the difference. It's allowed them to build this lead.
And really a reflection of their superior effort level to this point. It seems to me they've gone after this win a little bit more.
How frustrating for the defense. You get the stop, but then fail to block out.
Well, you know, that's the way it's going to be for them today, fellas. Can't sustain any momentum.
The pass to Hachimura. Here's Fernando. Nice hit again. And the rejection by James. And it's out of bounds. Team World will retain possession. Michael Porter, he's checked in for USA. And Team World making a change here. And now the first timeout called here for Team World.
And the lack of rim protection, top of the list.
Yeah, you know, just look at the numbers, guys. I mean, they are being taken to the woodshed in the paint.
Ayton, he's checked in. For USA, they shot 9 of 11 at the free throw line. First free throw is good.
And you just have to be enticed by the skill set of Ayton, a 7'1" behemoth who plays with a lot of physicality and skill on both ends.
With 1 on the clock, and so a pretty lopsided game for the first half. USA ahead, opening up a huge gap. And we'll be back right after halftime to get the third quarter underway. Welcome back as we get a glimpse of the future here at the Rising Stars Challenge.
And it has been a fantastic game up to this point.
It certainly has. I mean, we know these young fellas can play, and they are putting on a show.
Williamson out there with Michael Porter. Then there's Sexton. Then there's Jay, and it's Morant in at the 1. That's the group starting the second half for Kenny Atkinson. Here's Fernando. James covering. Hachimura, no good.
Boy, that's got to be terribly frustrating there. I mean, with the defense not hustling, and he still misses. Boy, he wishes he had that one back.
And that one's good. Morant.
Assists like that have typified their effort today. Terrific ball movement.
Really a prime example of the difference in how these teams have operated offensively. Much more individual play at the other end.
Now, here's Barrett. Guarded by Porter. Barrett, no good. And here's James. He'll bring it up for USA. To the paint. Here's Sexton. Yes, it's James picking up the assist. James has got his 7th assist of the game with that last one. Sexton's gotten 3 of his 4 shots to fall, hitting 75%. Passes to Hachimura. Back to Gilgeous-Alexander. Pass to Fernando. And the rejection by James.
They have yet to hit a shot. A real slow start here in the second half.
Porter passes to James. Fires the 3. Porter, no luck.
Even with that miss, they're shooting 75% coming out of the break. That's a strong start to the half.
And it's James missing.
And that is a textbook example of how to defend your rim.
And you know, guys, I love his fight and grit on the interior. I mean, he never lets a shot go uncontested.
So, Greg, the word that comes to mind when I think of R.J. Barrett, who we'll be seeing tonight, relentless.
Yeah, his attacking style really works for this kind of game. Great athlete, loves to compete. I know he's looking forward to making a statement here against his peers. Now, flying high and throwing it down with the one-hander.
One of his favorite moves right there, guys.
Does it as well as anybody, fellas. Tremendous skill while in the air.
And we know Hachimura has a confident personality. You see it there with the rise and fire approach. Nice.
An elite score, demonstrating once again how fast he can fill it up.
Well, we're into the third quarter, just over 2.5 minutes played. To the left wing, Barrett wide open, he fires. And a great assist by Gilgeous-Alexander as that one goes in.
And, well, like a lot of young players, Barrett's working hard to become proficient from range.
Now, here's Sexton. He's guarded closely. And count it, the shot is good. He'll go to the free throw line.
And they're beginning.
There's 48 seconds left in the third quarter. James, no good.
And you know what? Defensively, both teams have picked it up as we've gotten a little deeper into this game.
A little more competitive fire and intensity being shown out there now.
Chemistry at its best. An unreal alley-oop.
Yeah, you're right. The pass, the catch, the dunk, all of it perfect.
And it all had to be, Kevin, because that's not nearly as easy as they made it appear.
Morant's gone a nice 5 of 6 shooting from the field. We've got 22 seconds left to play here in the third. Here's Samanic. And the rejection by James. They retain possession. There's 14 seconds left to play in the third. 2 free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul. 3 trips to the line so far for him in this one. Free throw good, James. That's also good, so he hits both free throws. Inside, here's Fernando.
Boy, I like seeing these passes. Doncic has a keen sense for when one of his guys is open, and he gets it to him on time, on target.
And here's Young from the arc. Good, and the assist goes to James. James has got assist number 8 here in this one already. And it's USA able to put on a show for the ages. They've had active hands and have forced a lot of turnovers in this one. And we've got more NBA action on 2K Sports coming your way after this break. In a moment now, as we take a look at our State Farm assists of the game.
And definitely deserving of the prize tonight. How about the read he made here? Looking like a point guard, putting the pass right on the money.
Terrific versatility coming from a big man. Not something that the majority of big guys possess.
And we're glad to have you along as we resume the action at the Rising Stars Challenge. Some great careers in store for these young men.
And what a showcase this game has been for the league's best and brightest young stars.
And you know, one of my favorite things is seeing the camaraderie between the players. I mean, both of these teams really enjoying playing together and against each other.
A moment now to reset the lineups brought to us by Gatorade, all fueled up here for the fourth quarter. So Team World's 5 right now. We've got Luka Doncic, and it's Zamanic in at the power forward. Morant passes to James. Young dishes to James, kicks it to Clark. In the corner, floats it up for James. Oh, a nice defensive play to disrupt the alley-oop. Here's Doncic. They grab their own miss. Fernando, that's good.
His hard work on the backboard really just has given them more opportunities to score.
USA moving the ball around. Here's James. Again, USA.
Well, he's been doing it all night. Why not go back to it?
And no let up in him either, guys. I mean, he wants to continue to expand that lead, and as long as he's the one taking the shots, that lead's going to expand.
Fires for 3. Here's Fernando. And the rejection by James. Now here's Morant. Guarded by Doncic. And the dunk by James.
Terrific dime there. Morant realizing his responsibility to share the wealth with his teammates.
Game moves along. 2 minutes gone here in the fourth. And the rejection by James. To the inside. Morant. It's not going to go for him. Nice D from Doncic. James covering. Clark, there are strong divisions and there are weak divisions, and the NBA might be considering removing divisions altogether and having only 2 conferences. What do you think?
You know, that's interesting. I like the divisions because that's what we've been accustomed to, but just having straight conferences, I wouldn't see much harm in that. You'd adjust the schedule accordingly in terms of how many games you play within the conference and how many times each opponent, but I think that could work.
And the impressive reach of Aiden. Lob it up his way, and he'll take care of the rest.
Doncic outside. Knocks down the 3 ball.
And for a guy who hasn't been able to get a ton of minutes this season, great that he's had a chance to show off his skill set here tonight.
And he does have some skills to show off. I mean, his opportunity for more playing time is going to come soon enough. He just has to stay patient.
James finds Young. Good, and the assist goes to James.
And the first half of his season, boy, how special has it been? He has been on a rampage.
Yeah, and he's got tremendous talent, and when he's fully healthy and engaged, I mean, he's really impossible to stop. That's what we've been seeing this year from him. He's been ice cold tonight. And, you know, you look at the scoreboard, guys, they really could have used his contribution.
The dish to Morant. James, the pass to Clark. Doncic with the steal. Here's the break. Here's a Kobo. Tipped away. Out of bounds. It'll be USA's ball.
Boy, that's a moment he'd like to archive. Embarrassing lapse of judgment there.
And USA with some changes. Wendell Carter, he's checked in for Ayton. Michael Porter comes in for Clark. And it's Colin Sexton in for Young. Madu, he's checked in for Team World. Barrett comes in for Doncic. And stolen by James. And he lobs it up. And then Carter with the jam.
And how about the communication between teammates on that alley-oop?
And that's what you need to pull that thing off.
Boy, both ends of that play, guys, were fantastic.
Pass to Barrett. Clark, here's kind of an interesting perspective question for you. How much of making it to the NBA is talent? How much of it is the work you put into it?
Kevin, if I were to give this a ratio, I would probably say 65% talent, 35% work ethic, because you have to have a level of unique giftedness.
So USA wins it.
I can't say enough about how well all these young men competed here tonight. It shows for the fans and a clear picture of just how many talented we have here in the NBA.
Greg, no doubt there are some future greats among the players we saw here tonight. We're pleased to have brought you all the action. So now for Clark Kellogg and Greg Hampton, this is Kevin Harlan saying good night, everyone.
Give me